YouTube channel. Hers is Jasmine's Reality. So I just want to send a quick shout out because she did give me this mic, and this mic is pretty cool.
Is that a That's a was it blue snowball or something like that?
Oh yeah. How did you know? That's funny.
Bro, I did my when I was looking for me a mic, I had did my research on a whole bunch of mics, bro. It's over time I was just looking for different mics and pricing mics and all that stuff until I found it's either I told myself either I'm gonna save up for it, which I caught this. How long did I have this? Literally, a funny story. I had this mic maybe 2 years before I even started a YouTube page. Well, I always had a YouTube page from It's funny. I need to show you that page. I had a few videos on that page. I don't use it anymore or anything like that. But I had a few.
You talking about the one before, the ones that I be saying now, be telling you about, with the shoe videos?
Before that one. So I was doing this when I was back in Daytona at my first apartment. I was doing review. I only did 4 or 5 of them. Maybe not even that many of I got the wicks. Short wicks. I was doing a review of Naruto chapters and stuff. I gotta show you that one. But right now I'm creating I'm on Photoshop right now, basically creating tail of the tape so that when I want to do or we want to do a versus video, who we think that should go up next, who should be the next fights. I want to be able to have that in place. So that's what I'm doing right now. But how's your day, man?
I can't complain, just getting off of work, just relaxing right now. Can't complain. Got to talk about some good sports, Dolphins always.
I feel it. Fans up.
Talk about some UFC like we usually do. We love our UFC stuff. We got a lot of stuff. King Volkanovski, I always wanted to say this.
Well, when this man get beheaded by the Korean zombie, when do they fight? March or something like that?
I believe so. March is the day of the reckoning or the day of the decapitation for a Korean zombie.
It's actually the day of the dead. The zombie has awakened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Volkanovski he's gonna come out definitely on top on this one. I can tell you that.
Of a scratcher, he's gonna come on top of a scratcher. Yeah. After that man get killed in the
You think Korean zombie legs are gonna function anymore? Because Volkanovski loved those leg kicks, and Korean
okay. Who's a worse kicker? Jose Aldo in his prime or Volkanovski? Be honest.
Volkanovski. I'm going Volkanovski. Sorry.
Have you ever seen him stop a person with leg kicks?
Volkanovski is the golden child.
No. Ask you a question. Have you ever seen this man stop a person with leg kicks?
Yeah.
Who?
Max Holloway.
Have you ever seen him finish somebody with leg kicks?
I mean, if you check out the stats against Max Holloway, the leg kicks did kind of determine the fight.
Have you ever seen somebody get him finish somebody with leg kicks? I'm gonna ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
Who has the ref had to come in and was like, no more, no mas.
So points don't count?
No.
Oh,
he's not even in Michael. He's not even in Justin Gaethje. The top leg kickers of the UFC, Jose in his prime.
Volkanovski.
Jose in his prime, Barbosa.
Okay.
Justin Gaethje. They all 3 of them have finishes with leg kicks.
Which one of those guys can finish Volk?
Jose in his prime not finishing Volk. Jose in his prime not finishing Volk.
I don't think so.
The man didn't lose for 9 years. Prime Jose Aldo? Come on. I get it what you're doing, but prime Jose Aldo?
He beat Max Holloway. What can I do right there? He beat Max Holloway.
I love Bless. Like, you know how much I love Bless.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Aldo does not lose. It's like he didn't lose. Like,
Well,
the man had to get old, and he's not even real old. It's just the battles he took. He had to do all that to lose. Like, literally.
Jose Aldo is amazing. Like I'm not taking that away from him, but Volkanovski on the other hand, now that's amazing.
Okay.
That's a great fighter right there. He does everything. He's well rounded. He's great, man.
So I don't feel like talking about the Dolphins just yet. So I need to talk about because it's literally 3 days away. Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane. Like, who you going with?
So let me just
matter of fact, before we get into the main event, we got to get into like the pre-fights, bro. I
was bringing up the fights too because I was like, we can't just jump into that one. We can't just jump into that one
because we got a trilogy fight. We got Michael Pieta. You love Michael Pieta. That's the dude. If you remember, the dude that does the flips and stuff like that and all.
Yeah.
He's on the main card. Then we got Saeed Nurmagomedov, low key, under the radar prospect. A lot of people.
Is he out of that Khabib camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like Nurmagomedov.
No, but that's like, I don't want to say it's like a common name, but that's like, you got your Johnsons, you got your Williams, Russian people, you got the Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, Khabib. Then they gotta go recruit the last name. You gotta keep the aesthetic going.
So it's a couple of fights that I'm looking on here that I gotta do some watching. I gotta pull up the old UFC Fight Pass. If you don't have UFC Fight Pass, hey, UFC, man, sign us, bro. We'll plug you.
For real. They need to sign us. They'll be like, wow, these guys come up with some great predictions. I'm telling you guys, wait until these fights come. We are going to get some predictions going.
So we, not necessarily, I'm looking at the early prelims. I'm not seeing anybody that I totally know. Tony Gravely. I've seen that name before. I'm not sure. I don't remember if he got that crazy knockout. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up
some stuff. Let me just get the idea of names. So I'm over here.
Okay, he was the one that got knocked out. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I remember. I was like, why do that name sound familiar? Nathan Madness. He knocked him out. It was a good fight. I remember. I was like, dang. It was a good fight, and he got caught. He got caught at the end. Like, he hurt him, and then if I remember correctly, he hurt him in the first, and then the dude came back and knocked him out. He got caught up against the cage. Got kind of froze. If I remember correctly, I got to look back at that fight, but I think that's what I remember.
He forgot. He was on the cage. He was like, "Oh snap! I forgot."
Yeah, so. I'm looking at the fights. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah. I'm looking at them too. I see what you're saying. Like, yeah.
Oh, Trevor, I got Trevor Giles back.
Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty interesting. I was like, Trevor Giles going? Okay.
And I think if I'm not, he got finished his last fight too.
Who did he score 2 impressive octagon knockouts before leaving the sport for 18 months? So he's 3-3. Okay, he recently got knocked out. Yeah.
He had his hands down too low. I remember that fight. He was, darting in and out, had his hands low, and got boop.
Yeah. Plessis, or however you say this name.
Oh yeah. Dracus Duplessis. That dude that
no, I was gonna say Dracus, but I was like, am I gonna be right here? But okay, yeah. Okay. Let's see. That's okay. That's one dude I know. Let me kind of go down the list here.
Shred Dog is like just like amazing. I love Shred Dog. Like, they have so much information and stuff like that. It's crazy. I love their.
I know this is kind of random because I know this is not even coming up yet, but we never brought this up again. Do you know that Kamzat and Gilbert have like agreed to fight?
Yeah, I seen that. And I was watching Uncle Chell talk about it too. I'm not gonna say you don't get. I love you, Uncle Chell, but you know, own words on this podcast, own words only. So he had some stuff to say. I remember when he first talked about it. He talked about it. Kamzat fighting him. El was it Dorino? Gilbert Burns. He talked about him fighting him first, and then he talked about him fighting Kobe. And he was like, for far as Gilbert, it's nothing for Gilbert to prove there. It's one of those catch-22 fights. Even though with Kobe, it's one of those, you know, if you fight Kobe, your next fight is supposed to be for the championship. And one of the things that Uncle Dana said was he wants Kamzat in like 2 or 3 fights before he gets to the championship.
I honestly feel like Kamzat right now is kind of a money fight, if you ask me. Like, people are really getting to know him. You know, you get a good quick payday. So that's why I mean, you ain't taking an L necessarily. I mean, for a Dorino, in my opinion, I felt, you know, I like Dorino. I don't feel like he should be doing this, but that it comes with the territory when you're like, you know, a real alpha. You know, when anybody on your stomping grounds, you just got to feel like you know, you got to challenge it. So I do respect him for keeping the division going. So hey, I think it'll be a great one.
Who you taking?
Sorry, Dorino, but I gotta go Kamzat. The guy is massive, man. Like, did you see him compared to Jack Hermanson in like that wrestling match?
He's a huge human being. And the crazy thing is, he was standing next to our boy Jan, and he looked at like, I'm like, what the? He looked at like a 205 or like he, you know, Jan has a very big upper body and his lower body is not that, but like his shoulders, I was like, I'm not saying that he would go up to 205 or anything like that, but his walk around weight is pretty decent.
Yeah, that kid is, to think that he can fluctuate so greatly between 185 and 170 is like amazing. And it's like he never loses the size advantage. Even if he goes to 185, it's like he still looks like one of those guys. He goes down to 170, he just looks bigger than those guys. So it's just ridiculous. That's a real, like, that's what you call a real athlete. Whatever they got in Dagestan, boy, I don't know what's in the waters.
Just to think about when I started, I know I started a little bit before you, to see the elite talent that has come out of Russia, just out of different places, but since we're talking about Dagestan, just to see the amount of just the Khabibs, the
Petr Yan. And he's not even from there.
Russian, like, you know, at a time where, you know, that you had the Cubans and stuff like that, the gene pool is just crazy. You look at, you know, the Hector Lombards, the Yoel Romero's, the elite, a lot of people, the elite boxers that was.
Yeah, you ever see the damn wrestlers? The damn wrestlers who go to the Olympics? The super heavyweights? Man.
Yeah, crazy. So looking at those and looking at the talent that has come off, Sharipov, Magomed Sharipov, like, you looking at him like Abraham Lincoln. I call him the beast. The beast. You're just looking at those, and just it's an influx of just talent. And just like the Africans, the Nigerians and stuff like that. The Africans, like the Super Sadiq, Kamar, what's his name? He just lost Kennedy. You look at those type, it's MMA is so just abundant right now. So
it's in a different place.
Like these, and we always have, when we off camera and stuff, we had those conversations about it with George St. Pierre and the Chuck Liddells and the Tito Ortizes and the Rich Franklins. Like, would they be champions in this era? Like
George's, I think so.
So now think about what you're saying. So you think George St. Pierre, you think he's beating Kamzat?
In his prime? Yeah. I like so.
Is he beating Kobe?
Yeah, I believe so. The only thing I believe he is going to have the hardest challenge against would be Kamaru. That's just my opinion.
The reason why I wouldn't give him Kamzat, because like when I think about it, the person that I ain't want to, I ain't the one who to, and it's at the end of it, it's going towards the end of his career, but when you pull up George St. Pierre, I love me some. I am not impressed by your performance. I love me some GSP. I find it difficult to believe that he's beating the Kamars, he's beating the Kamzats, he's beating the Kobe Cup. Kobe is one of those. He's a Daniel Cormier. He's stuck behind a better fight. I think George St. Pierre would be like the fourth or fifth best in this era. And that's hard to say because you look at the competition that he dominated, the Frank Triggs, the Frank Triggs, the Matt Hugheses, the Sean Shirk, like BJ Penn. But I just think about it. I'm like, what guy that he went against?
Maybe you can't play things, you know. You don't want to get a copyright.
The guy outside of Frank Trigg and Matt Hughes, you didn't see no really. I'm trying to think that who he went against until he got to the Johnny Hendricks and stuff. You didn't see no big, powerful wrestlers like the big, just crazy, like the Kamaros. Like, I wonder, will he struggle against one of those types? Because Johnny Hendricks, he was a wrestler, but he was a power puncher by nature, and then that power disappeared after he sort of got here. I'm not trying to say anything, but so it's just like, it's one of those things, like, I wonder what would happen if he was to be in this era. It's just one of those crazy things to think about. And I love me some GSP, but when you say stuff like that, people gonna be on your head. Like, you really believe you're saying Pierre cannot beat these guys?
Hold on, I'm still here. I just gotta I'm just moving out of the room so I can go to the living room.
No problem, bro.
All right. Okay. Okay, there we go.
Because now I'm looking at, I pulled it up, and I'm looking at George St. Pierre. He fought who was in front of him. That's not his fault, and that's one of the things that I struggle with when I be talking about fighters and stuff like that. That's one of the things that I struggle with, because they only can fight who's in their era. They only can fight who's in front of them. Like when we talk about Khabib off camera and stuff like that, I feel like he's no better than, he's dominant. He's dominant as shit. Like, don't get it twisted. But he's no better than Benson Henderson. He defended the title as much as Benson Henderson. Like, I can't say you the best lightweight ever when you're tied with somebody else. Like, I needed to see him against more top competition. I know he got some killers at the end, but I would like to see him against the Charles Oliveira's. I would like to see.
I just think the thing is with Khabib, right? Because Charles Oliveira is coming and he's showing like pure dominance, like on another scale right now. Khabib, when he was doing it a few years back, before his retirement, it's like he literally was canceling people out. It was not about the excitement about everything. It's just like, if you're a real fan of the stuff, you can see this guy really canceling people out. Like, it just literally was like a plus sign going with a damn negative sign. You know what I'm saying? He just destroyed whatever they was bringing. Like, you knew he was going to come and take you down, but he would pepper you.
Yeah.
He would pepper you and then take you down. Or he would, like, I remember that blow that he hit Conor with. Like, everybody, he shocked the world, like, when he dropped Conor like that. So it's like, no one expected that. We thought Conor would do that to him, but he comes out and blasts him, gets on top of him. And it's like, the guy just proved to us, like, the way how he was dominating was a bit different. But the thing with Charles is that now Khabib's reign
It's gonna be questioned.
It's gonna be questioned.
Because
It's
if he
very short lived now. It's like one of those, like, it was cool while it lasted, and then Charles just came out of nowhere and took it over. Like, it's ridiculous.
so if he sit up here and dominates, like he already dominated Dustin Poirier. If for whatever reason they give him Conor next and he dominates Conor, and then after that it's Justin Gaethje or nothing. If he dominates these same guys in fashion, I know he gets hurt sometimes, he get rocked, but he proves that he's a champion.
No, I think now he's doing the hurt thing for him. Yeah. That's just a mental thing. I think he's doing that stuff as a mental thing because he was tired of everybody saying, oh, he's not just like he don't have heart and stuff. Because if you've seen that fight versus Tony Ferguson, for example, he did not play that shit. He play that stuff. He just grabbed him, took him, like he just did what he had to do. But with Dustin, he took some chances.
Mm-hmm. So, but just like if he knocks, he already got Dustin. If he gets Conor, he gets Justin. He already got Chandler. Like, so it gets you in that paradox. It's like, okay, Khabib did do this, but we have like literally Khabib. We're gonna get 2 years of we're thinking Khabib was the best lightweight of all time, and then if Charles continues to ascend, like it's gonna be like, oh, Khabib who? He left too soon, and I understand like you lose your father who's been your trainer your whole life. I'm not trying to poop on the guy or anything like that, but at the same time, bro, you got unfinished business.
Well, to me, it just shows you how quick the game moved on. That's all. It just shows you how much the growth of the game has changed. Like, you have Charles Oliveira, who he's a grappler. Mm-hmm. He's basically a grappler, submission guy. But look what he did. He transformed that. He went to striking now. Like, now you look at him and you're like, it's interchangeable. Like, yeah, he's striking very nice, but then still it's like if he grabs you and he can get on your back from standing up. We've seen what he did to Tony Ferguson's arm, even though I don't know how he continued. I don't know how he continued. Bro, it's hard to watch that fight. Like, sometimes I got to look away from that part because it's ridiculous how he just, I'm like, oh my God, it's not broke.
So we got kind of like, it's funny that we got kind of off top. But back to GSP, because I still got GSP up. And I'm looking at him, and he got unanimous decisions. He got Matt Serra, the second fight, he destroyed him. Then he got John Fitch, unanimous. Then he got BJ Penn. I'm not sure if you watched that fight. If you haven't, you need to watch GSP versus BJ Penn 2. He literally made BJ Penn quit on the stool. They wouldn't let BJ go back out. That was one of those. And the lead up to that fight, I think this is right before you got into it. This is back in 2008. No, was this 2008? 2009. This is 2009. This is was you watching UFC back in 2009?
I was watching UFC when Kimbo came.
Okay. So this is I think Kimbo came in 2011. I think it was 2011 when Kim.
Nah, 2011. That episode of no.
I got a Kimbo slide.
I'm pretty sure. I think I was in 10th grade, bro. That was like 2000. You could be right, like 2009, 2010.
Let me see. Kimbo Slice made his debut in the UFC 2009.
Yeah, that just sounds just about right because I remember they had the Ultimate Fighter and Rampage and
that was the Ultimate Fighter. Damn, why I feel like 2011.
I felt it was early. I was thinking 06 low key. I'm like, nah, I can't be no damn 06.
Yeah. So back to GSP though. So that fight, you need to watch that fight. Have you seen that fight?
No, I have to watch it then.
That's a fight. So like literally when we doing these, because this is when my brain is going, you just have a pen and paper, just you, because literally, and don't watch just the fight. Watch the version of it that has like the talking in it, because leading up to it, like how they did the they have like the trailers when they talking about each other in the fight. BJ Penn was like, the first fight, I was off, blah blah blah. I didn't train like I should. This fight, I'm coming in tip-top shape, and I'm going to make this guy quit in the octagon. This guy is going to quit in the octagon. This is going to be the first time you see a fighter actually quit in the octagon, because I'm going to, he was just, hyping that up. And you put bulletin stuff on people wall, and GSP literally, like, you can see, like when you get taken down, you see a fighter get taken down, and you just be like, bro, how is he getting up? It was that to that point where he was just like, no mas, no. And like when the GSP was knocking against the gate, he was hitting the gate like, come on, let's go. That's the most I've ever seen GSP, like, like, I am not impressed by your performance.
Yo, man, GSP, like,
so GSP in his prime is crazy. He's a different animal. But when I look at his record and I look at, Max Holloway has a lot of unanimous decision, but Max Holloway stuff just looked different. And I'm probably going to go back, give me some time, and just do like a fighter analysis or something like that, and just go back and watch all his fights. But I remember watching GSP and his jab, rush. We're going for the takedown. You're going for the ride. And, it wasn't boring at the time, but you look at a similar fighter that does these things, as in Colby Covington. Colby Covington unanimous decisions are just like this crazy. Like it's a different feeling to it than GSP. GSP drowns you. Don't get it twisted. But Colby is like a bigger Khabib in a way, without all the submissions.
So I got the fight here, so I'm definitely gonna watch it later. But yeah, you're right. You got something there on that one, because one of the greatest fights I ever seen, like, like as a fan, like a favorite fight to watch, is Colby Covington versus what's her guy named Robbie Lawler.
I knew you were gonna say that one.
I love that fight.
What, he took him down like 26, 30 times? Something crazy
bro,
like that?
how many? He had like 27 takedown attempts and took him down like 20 times, and like had over like 200 punches landed. Like, it was amazing. Like, how you do that to somebody?
So it's just one of those. That's why I would like. You never seen. It's just, it would be fun to be able to watch certain fighters in their prime versus other fighters in their prime. Like, I would love to.
GSP got more hands though than Colby. That's the thing. The karate gonna play a factor now.
I know, but when you talking about the pressure, like, we just seen
GSP was pressured too now.
Wait. So who
and
has
power?
No, GSP. I'm looking.
Not that much, pal. I'm not saying he's not like a knockout power artist, but like, I think he got more than Colby.
Another fight. Watch GSP versus Sean Shirk, and then watch BJ Penn versus Sean Shirk. Did you ever watch BJ Penn versus Sean Shirk? Watch BJ Penn versus
Sean Shirk. How you spell the last name?
Shirk. Sherk. The muscle shark. Sean Shirk versus GSP, and BJ Penn versus Sean Shirk. So you got BJ Penn versus GSP. Then you have Sean Shirk versus GSP. Then you have BJ Penn versus Sean Shirk.
Okay, let me get them pulled up.
So that's those you gotta watch, because that's when that's one of those. Sean Shirk never lost the UFC lightweight title. Technically, he had walked away from the title or was stripped of the title because of PEDs. So, but he never had lost the title, and that was kind of when he came back versus BJ Penn. That was kind of that build up to that fight. Was like, I never lost the title. That was stripped from me. I never actually lost the title, and I'm here to take it back. That was kind of one of those type matchups and building up. So back to what I was saying about GSP. So when I look at his record, which is, it's crazy dominant. The man has 2 losses. The man has 2 losses. Like, he's like 20. What is he, like 23 and 26 and 2? He had a aberration in what's that guy named Matt Serra, and then his other loss was against Matt Hughes, which both fights he redeemed himself. He finished Matt Hughes, and then he finished Matt Serra. So like it's one of those things where if you go back and beat the other guy, that turns into a 0. Like the only person I really consider undefeated is John Jones. No one has beat John Jones. Matt Hamlin, Matt Hamlin,
Matt, hell no.
Matt Hamlin, he was getting dominated, and you had Matt mess up the match Mazzagatti. It was illegal. It's illegal. It is what it is. It's illegal. So whatever, if he was coming down like this or but he was coming down from the 12 to 6 elbow, you can't do that. But he had dominated that fight. Have you ever seen that one?
I'm never gonna watch that fight, bro.
You need to watch it.
I'm never gonna watch that fight, bro.
It's part of history. It's part of that.
I refuse to watch that. I ain't gonna lie. I could have came across it a few times. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this. I don't want to watch John Jones lose like that. I'm sorry.
It showed you. I have watched a lot of John Jones younger fights, like the Brandon Veras, the Rampages, the Rashad Joneses, the Mauricio Shogun, who was the what's that guy's name? Not
Maurice. What's the guy? The karate guy, the dragon.
No, not that. I've watched that one several times.
Yeah.
I was just watching him actually.
Damn, what is his name? I'm gonna be bothered. What's our guy name? Not Shogun Hua.
Hold on. The dragon. I can see his face, but I can't say his name. I just watched a fight of him over because he had some crazy knockouts, and I just watched his fight over against Rashad Evans.
Vitor?
No. Oh my God. I just watched it 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I can see his face. And it was like, because I seen it. What made me watch it, because I seen it was like him making karate work when they say karate doesn't work in the octagon. And I was like, I'm going to go watch Rashad Evans versus. It's going to be.
Oh, I remember my guy that I was just thinking about.
What's your guy's name?
Lyoto
Machida.
Yeah.
Lyoto Machida. That nigga, that guy has a name like a dragon. That's like you said, Lyoto. That's fire. Lyoto, so I had just watched him. Lyoto the Dragon Machida. Dang, I couldn't think of that.
Didn't he choke him out or something?
Oh yeah, he caught him with a like a standing guillotine. Had him.
Yeah, come here.
That's the length, Pauls, that John Jones have, and able the type of that's crazy. A standing guillotine like that is just crazy. And the torque he got on that. He little brother. Said, that was
give me all your lunch money.
Yeah. But back to GSP. So GSP versus another one that it's just a lot. GSP, now that I think about it, I just love to see Kobe, but just getting your mind working about thinking about the fights and stuff like that. Like Thiago Alves, that fight. Thiago Alves was the pit bull, which he was just a monster. Like you saw that came, his body changed. I'm just keeping it a buck. But if you look at his fights, have you watched any Martin Kampman?
No.
You need to go watch The Hitman. Just write his name down. Just write his name down, Martin Kampman. Like, bro, the John Fitches of this is 170. These are 170 fighters. Like Martin, this is so you cannot watch him without the historic big rig.
What's the name again? Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Martin Kampman. It's K is with a K. Kampman is with it's like a camp but with a K. Kampman.
Okay, keep going. I'm just
him so just watching those watching that era of fighting of the 170s, you realize how dominant GSP was. And Big Rig, have you ever watched? You was watching by that time GSP versus Johnny Hendricks. That's 2013. Did you watch that fight?
Yeah, and you remember? I think one day I pulled it up to you. I was like, "Wait a minute!" I was like, "Am I tripping, or did they just rob Johnny?"
Yeah, Johnny Hendricks. That's one of those fights that he was in Canada. Oh, Canada!
Well, they pulled out the Sly Cooper, the Fox, whatever that was. Where they went? PlayStation 2.
The screw drop, the Montreal screw job. You remember from WWE?
Man.
The
This man was getting hit by Mack trucks in that fight. GSP face was definitely not the same.
You look at that's one of those fights where you look at if you was to look, I'm going to show you two guys and tell me who won. That's how Johnny looked like he fresh out the sauna. GSP looked like he got mugged by like 3 guys.
So what? Johnny Hendricks like he could have went to the club afterwards.
Yeah, so
got a good old time.
So watching, you watching that Jake Shields versus GSP, it was kind of boring, but this is when they was building Jake Shields up. He was coming from Strike Force. He was a champion and all that stuff, and just those fights make me think about like GSP as in a whole. And then I kind of in the back of my mind, I'm like, could Kobe get him in his prime? It just saying it out loud. Now, after just thinking about all the different fights, how he was a puzzle, like he was a puzzle figuring out different puzzles. Like the amount
you can't be the number one guy in your generation, and there's no like he didn't have a Daniel Cormier and blah 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 and all that type of stuff. He didn't really have that GSP.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to be honest, so it's like Kobe, he's the second guy, So I can't. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I fear with Khabib. So I'm just bringing it around circle. That was one of those things that I fear where he beat the guys he was supposed to beat, the Nick Diaz's, the Josh Koscheck's, the Matt Hugheses. Even like Matt Hughes's age was up here and GSP was down here. So Matt Hughes was getting up in age, and it's just like that. He got out at the right time. When the Johnny Hendricks, just look at the division after he left. The 170 division after GSP vacated. Because he some people say he won, some people say he lost. On the scorecard, just like how I do with Vote. Even though I don't like to admit it, on that scorecard, he got max twice. So what I think.
You said you needed the scorecard to get that?
No. I'm saying on the scorecard, even though what I think is different, on that scorecard, he got that dub. So even if I think GSP lost to Johnny Hendricks that night, he vacated the title. He stepped away. 2013. At how old GSP was 2013? He had to be like 30 or 33 or something like that.
Yeah, he had to be super young. Ain't he like 38 now?
Yeah, so I wish they showed it. GSP. Oh, snap. Chael Sonnen got knocked out by Rashad Jones. Oh, wow.
Rashad Jones?
Rashad Evans always do that.
I was like, damn. The Dolphins?
that's why I did. Yeah, that's why I always do that. Dang. And I would see this is what I'm talking about. You have the Robbie Lawlers, the Roy Mcdonalds, even though Rory was his protege. You have the Tyron Woodleys. Those the people that's ascending at that time. In the welterweight, you have those people that's ascending. That I'm not saying that he was like, yeah, I see these people coming and I'm ducking, I'm dodging. It's just I'm bringing it full circle with Khabib. When you have those people at the top, but you have that king that's coming, and just so happen you retire. Not saying you seen that coming, but sometimes it feel like that to the average or the watching fan. It's like, even though it's 2 fights after, like almost 2 years. How long could be? It's about 2 years, right? He's been retired. It's just like
I think he got bored, bro. Like, think about it. Some of the people you just named, a lot of them are, killers. But I asked this question, like Tyron Woodley, for example, he came kind of at the perfect time to get a championship. I mean, it takes a lot to get one, but he came at the correct time. I mean, I just don't see how him and GSP would have matched up. I just see GSP mauling him.
So I'm not trying to pull your card or anything like that. But have you seen early Tyron?
I did watch a few of his earlier fights. So, for example, I just seen him versus Kelvin Gastelum, and I seen some of that hesitancy that you see, and I don't think that GSP would have allowed him to do that. I think he would have rushed him, or like he would have definitely brought the fight to him.
So, seeing him versus Johnny Hendricks at the time, who do you think got more power, Johnny Hendricks or Tyron Woodley?
Tyron Woodley, without a doubt. I gotta give you that.
So, seeing how often GSP had got hit by Johnny Hendricks, this is Tyron. He got kind of hesitant. I'll say like right after, like you seen him versus Koscheck.
No, so I'm assuming that was before Kelvin. I mean,
before Kelvin.
Yeah, before Kelvin. Yeah,
before Kelvin. Like that. If you watch him versus Dong Young Kim, Robbie Lawler, Kevin. So it go Dong Young Kim, Kevin Gastelum, championship fight Robbie Lawler, Stephen Thompson, Damian Maya, Darren Till, and then the losers starred. You got the Camaro, you got the.
I guess what makes me look at Tyron a bit different is because at the time, right, Stephen Thompson, I know Stephen Thompson is, up in age right now, but in the time, like Stephen Thompson was the number 2 and he was the number 1, basically. And the way how Stephen Thompson has been he's been fighting real wrestlers, like people who wants to push the agenda of like taking him down. Not that Dorino's a wrestler, he's a grappler, but he pushed the envelope, and then now you see Bilal, and then that fight even looked even more crazier, and it's like, that these guys were just not scared to get hit. That's what it looked like to me.
So the time that when the people that Stephen Thompson assaulted to get to that title shot, like, do you believe at that time, if they matched that Thompson that Tyron beat, Rock hurt multiple times, do you believe that they beating that guy? He's up in age. Like Stephen Thompson is up in age. He's like 40 something now, 40 or 41. Like the game.
I mean, he dismantled Vicente Luque, but that was like 2019 though, and it's just like after that, I don't know if sometimes you coming off injuries, because I think Stephen, if we want to be honest, I think against Neil, to be honest, and he fought a great fight against Neil, and that's where the trajectory went kind of down. I believe what happened with Stephen Thompson, he broke both of his hands in that fight, I believe. So that's probably kind of taking that power away from his hands that we're so used to seeing.
So I'm not, and this is one of those things that you can say that time it go both ways, right?
Yeah.
So you got time to mature and you get time to get old. So all I'm saying is, he knocked out Robert Whittaker.
Yeah.
So like that's Robert Whittaker 170.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
That's a young Stephen Thompson versus a budding, that's a prime Stephen Thompson versus a budding Robert Whittaker. You think he knocks him out right now? Hell no. Robert Whittaker a run.
I just think he honestly knocked him out because he was just too big for 170.
That's Stephen Thompson.
Bro. bro.
The spinning back kick versus Jake Ellenberger, like it just is like.
Are we forgetting that Robert Whittaker fought 185 Yoel Romero, right?
And I got him losing twice. So
no, but he didn't get knocked out. That's the thing I'm saying. He didn't get knocked out.
He got knocked out by Stephen Thompson, though.
But that was at 170 where he had to drain himself.
So no, he wasn't draining himself. I don't let that slide. He because even when he wasn't like a who would I say?
The boy said he was draining himself. You think Robert gonna lie about that? Bobby Knuckles? Bobby Knuckles an honest guy.
He wasn't draining himself like that.
He an honest mate.
So you say Yoel Romero, then you give me Yoel Romero, I'll give you he got knocked out by a boy, Adesanya. I see your Yoel Romero, I raise you a Israel Adesanya. Like, who you think hit harder? Like, before you answer, like, think about it. Who hit harder? Yoel Romero. Izzy is way more accurate, but Yoel has way more power. I
don't know. Shoot. The highlights did show that. I'm playing.
I was about to say Yoel knocked the man across the ring. Like,
shoot. I think if Yoel was to hit somebody standing next to me, I think I'll get knocked out just because of what happened, right? I don't even got to get the hit. I think I'll just your body will just go. You feel me? It'll be a mental thing.
Yeah, but I feel like Stephen Thompson. Like, even have you watched Stephen Thompson versus Roy Mcdonald?
Oh shoot! I gotta watch that fight. Oh, yeah. I didn't know they fought. I think I did, but I was like, man, I was supposed to watch that. Actually, I'm gonna pull that up right now. I actually want to see that fight.
And it's just one of those. It's just one of those. It's just one of those. Like, Stephen Thompson he's got caught up. When we was talking about that, him off camera, him not putting in the time with wrestling, it's evident. You've been in the UFC since 2012. Your quickness, your ability to distance and stuff kept you from getting taken down like that. But now that these grapplers, the Dan Gilberts, Dorino, the Muhammad's, the Bilals,
bro, he was so used to fighting people like Tyron. Like, no offense to Tyron, you feel me? He was, because I was a fan of him at one point.
He would.
But he was used to fighting that type of guy. Like, you feel me? Where it's like you got to kind of figure him out because you know if he throws that right hand, you know you can go to sleep. So you can't just walk up to him and try to force the fight too much, because that's what he's loading up for. He's like that One Piece character, King. What's his name? He was in Just Roasted, the one with the super mega punch.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like he like that. He just waits for you to come to you so he can just throw it and knock you out.
So now
he's not used to that.
So if you think about, I got his fighters up right now. You think about the fighters that he beat that since he got up in age, which I had him beating, like, I'm not sure. You watched that fight. I know you watched it because we talked about it. Anthony Pettis versus Stephen Thompson. He was piecing him up.
Yeah, he was killing him.
Anthony Pettis, low-key got lucky. No offense to Anthony Pettis. You know, I love me some Showtime.
Yeah, that boy got a lot to win. That boy got a lot to win.
I hate Showtime because of
the winning ticket.
I hate Showtime because of what he did to Benson Henderson, but I love him at the same time. So watching him, if you watch that fight, if you literally watch that fight, he was getting destroyed. He was just piecing, Stephen Thompson was piecing him up. I said that to say this. So if you look at his past fights, I'm gonna take that as because he was winning that fight, even though he got knocked out. If you look at his past fights that he's won.
Oh no, I just got to say this because I'm thinking about it now, and now it's actually funny as heck to me thinking about it. I'm like, bro, Pettis knocked out Stephen Thompson with like a WWE move, bro. Like, you know, off the ropes, like basically to get it
Superman punch off the cage. It's like the Showtime kid. He caught Vincent Henderson in WEC. Like the man, his fighting style, I would say flamboyant, is very open, is very free, is very open. So it's one of those things that he got caught up with. We might have a show talking about, you know, fighters. Like we just sitting up there shooting the breeze about different. That'd be a good idea as well. Just sit up there talking about.
Yeah, give them some love, you know, their love that they deserve,
and stuff like that. So back to what I was saying. If you look at the people he went against, and the Darren Till is debatable as well. If you look at the fighters that he has done well against, or not just completely wiped out. So even though he lost, he did well against. If you look at the last fighters from 2017, George Masvidal. What does George do? He strikes. He's not trying to take you down. He's going to strike with you, and he pretty much unanimous decision. It wasn't. I didn't think George came close to winning that fight.
Yeah, that was when he sat him down with a boop.
Yep. And you look at Darren Till. What Darren Till is? He's a striker. He's not taking you down. He's gonna, you know, big gorilla. He's gonna throw the power, and that's about it. You know, he's gonna left hook, you know, straight. It is what it is. Anthony Pettis, he was destroying Anthony Pettis. Anthony Pettis was not the level of striker that Stephen Thompson is. He was destroying him. Got knocked out off the cage, Hail Mary. And that was like with 5 seconds left. It was like 10 seconds or 5 seconds left in the So then you go to Vicente Luque, a striker. Vicente Luque's striking is not on Stephen. Stephen Thompson been striking for all his life, like literally all his life. Vicente Luque been grappling, striking mostly all his life, but it's a difference. It's levels to this thing. It's levels.
What?
And then you go look at George Neal. I think I said George Neal was going to knock him out, or I had George Neal going for that fight. I think you had, if I remember correctly, I think you had Stephen Thompson. But look, Stephen Thompson, whitewash. What? I didn't mean that word. I said whitewash, but he washed him out. Like he literally just, it was not close. Stephen Till couldn't do nothing with. I'm Stephen Till. Jeff Neal couldn't do anything. It's not close. Then you go the fighters he struggled against. Gilbert Burns. What did Gilbert Burns do to him? Wrestle him, took him down, beat him up, hold him down.
He said, I'm not scared of you. I'm going to grab you. That's what he said.
And then Bilal Muhammad sit up there, took Gilbert Burns' game plan to a different level. Crowded him, took him down, punched him, just made him uncomfortable. And like I said, at the end of that fight, I like what sometimes it's like it's overkill. I get it when they're if round 1, round 3, round 4, I'm trying to kill you. Round 5 at 5 seconds left, I respect you a lot. I'm not, you know, when I said he was just throwing shit, but he wasn't trying to, you know, like kill him. He was just trying to, you know, show they do what when there. I want you to be able. Even though I may hate you right now, I want you to be able to make it out that octagon to your family, because we all have family. So that's one of the things I think about, because just from being combat sports, I don't want football, anything like that. At the end of the day, I want you to go home to your family, because I want to go home to my family. So that's one of the.
You're going to go home to your family, but you got to go to sleep, though. Go to your family, but I need that 50K.
But yeah, so
I'm playing. No, I get you.
That's one of those fights. Well, he dominated him for five rounds. What? Throwing heavy shot elbows, 5 seconds left. You're not going to get the finish. There's no reason to put a man to sleep unless you choke him. Like if you choke a dude to sleep, I'm cool with that.
I hit it with the Van Flute, man. Sneak it.
But like, just giving the man a concussion, 5 seconds left in the fight. Some people might not be cool with that, but but what I'm saying is Stephen Thompson, the game has caught up with him. If you wrestle that blueprint has been made. If you wrestle Stephen Thompson, if you get up close,
over. Yeah. That's why I look at it now. Like Leon, at first I was like, yeah, Leon, why you don't want to fight Stephen Thompson? And then after kind of seeing how he looked against Bilal, and I'm like, it makes sense now. I think he would have destroyed Stephen Thompson.
And that's just one of those fights that I wish that I would love to have seen how that fight finished.
In 2019, yeah,
Yeah,
2019.
no, I don't want him to run it back, but at the time, I would love to just have seen that fight play out, see how you know at the end, you know, because Bilal don't get tired, and I'm not saying that all that.
Oh, you're talking about Leon versus Bilal?
Yeah, Leon versus Bilal.
Oh, he was going to sleep. Bilal, I think he was going to sleep.
I would have liked to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been an interesting fight, and I don't want to disrespect Bilal or anything, but the way how like Leon came out there, you know, it's like, you know, when you got to come the best dressed to the party, it's like he came his best. Like those kicks he was throwing, those punches, everything was so crisp. He was on his game that night. That's all I felt like. That eye poke, I felt like that just messed up a masterpiece, but happens.
And sometimes when you some of the times when you throwing kicks, you breathe like you reach to just to judge your distance to where you throwing your kick. Some people do that, but like literally, if he would have threw a jab, and you know, it's just one of those things that when that's your muscle memory that you put in the gym. You just, you know, if you used to, you know, throwing like you want to get something in your opponent's face before you throw the kick, and just so happened he threw the finger.
And I mean, that's why I got a hand fight too. It's on Leon, yes, but Bilal, if you're gonna try to enter in on a guy who's throwing those type of bombs at you, you might want to, you know, kind of hand fight a little bit, get them hands out your face too now. So, but you can't control that.
It sucks, and that's not the first time. No offense to Bilal, because you know he'll decapitate both of us at the same time, probably.
Oh, without a doubt.
He gets eye poked a lot. Like this is not that wasn't the first fight that I seen him get eye poked. His eyes, like when he fight, his eyes wide open. He said everything. So I'm not blaming him at all or nothing like that.
Yeah,
that boy
you just got to be more careful with that type of stuff. You know, like you don't want to get poked in the eye. You got these sweaty fingers going into your eye and stuff like that.
I'm glad that's why you know you got to get them nails. You know, them nails got to be cut because. Like them corneas, you can literally blind a person, you know.
Hey, I mean, do you think that's why Michael Bisping is the way he is right now?
Well, Michael Bisping, what happened with Michael Bisping is TRT Vitor kicked the fuck out of him, fucked him up. Watch that fight.
I see why he hates him. Yeah,
because he was on steroids. He was on the roids. TRT Vitor did that to him.
TRT Belfort, please do not beat me up. I'm sorry.
He probably still can take us get the juice.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm okay.
Yeah, so that boy was a different. His I think it was like 5 fights. TRT. If you go, you look at him. This is TRT Vitor. I think he was watching at this time. This is like 2013, something like that. Look at him against Dan Henderson, Luke Rockhold, Michael Bisping.
You know, so I was not like big on. I knew who he was. I heard about him, but my memory of him is not too good. It got something to deal with Anderson Silva.
Oh, that front kick to the face.
Oh my goodness! Hey, he started a freaking movie with this, dog. Everybody try to do it now.
So, like, just offhand, the fights that I remember Vitor in, you got him against the Axe Murderer, of course. Beat that man across the they show that on highlights all the time. That 19 punch combo that he started like in the middle of the octagon to the other side of the
Oh yeah.
And then you have him versus Chris Weidman. The first round against Chris Weidman, like Chris Weidman was in all sorts of trouble, and then Chris Weidman got him to the ground, beat him to death. Versus like literally beat him to death. He was all bloody. It was a wrap. It's a wrap. Then you got Vitor versus Dan Henderson. Spinning back kick. I think it was a spinning back kick that caught him a spinning hook kick. Then you have a spinning hook kick. Spinning hook kick with Rockhold. Then you have a spinning hook. So what got Dan Henderson was a spinning. What is that? A spin? Because I remember him spinning, and then he boom hit him on the ground. Boom. That was a cutthroat. Then you have he caught Michael Bisping with a head kick. just create like TRT Vitor was a different type of dude. He was different. He was different, bro.
That boy kicked Michael Bisping eye out his head, bro.
Michael Bisping, please, Bisping. This is not a shot at you. I know you fucking hate him. I hate him for doing that to you.
Yeah, for real.
Well,
like,
but like he kicked Bisping.
He kicked his eye out. Hey, that was a Mortal Kombat type of thing.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up Vitor right now, bro, because his run TRT Vitor Belfort is like it's just different, bro. And that got him a title. That got him a title fight versus Chris Weidman. And Chris Weidman. That's why they were saying Chris Weidman was beating all the old Brazilians because he had beat Anderson for the title. Then he defended it against Lyoto Machida. Then he defended it against Vitor Belfort, and then he lost it against Luke Rockhold. So it's just one of those like you didn't fight anybody. You got 3 wins against 3 old guys, Brazilians. And then when you the first time you go against, an athlete that supposedly should be on your level, you get demolished. And the decline started. So he's like, if now, I hate to say this because we just was talking about Tyron, a person that became a champion at the right time. All the people that I think of, he immediately comes to mind. A champion at the right time, it will be Chris Weidman, because when he went against real adversity, no offense to Chris Weidman, you got to be careful with these podcasts as well, because I love the American Chris Weidman, but when you think about it, and then who he went against next and how his career has been since, it's kind of like you became a champion at the right time.
And it's all just fun and games at the end of the day. As long as we're not disrespecting them or going personal and stuff, that's all that matters. But I do got to say this: that Luke Rockhold definitely did pick him up like a child, gave him a pacifier or a bottle, whichever one, and told him, "Hey, son."
It's different around these parts.
There's levels to this, son. Let me go put you in your cradle. Let me go put you to sleep, because you ain't getting up out of the bed for the night.
Oh snap! I can't, bro. I have to. When we get off here, I'm gonna watch some. You're gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to watch a few fights, because I forgot Dan. He beat Dan up twice. He beat Dan Henderson twice, and like. So this is TRT Vitor. So you had him started off with Vitor. This is 2013. Have you watched these fights? Matter of fact, I might just watch it tomorrow. Have you watched those fights? Have you watched TRT Vitor?
No, I told you what your Vitor Belfort I watched.
Because
the one that just blew. Oh,
because that was in 2011. That Vitor versus Anderson was 2011. Like literally, that's a good like. If you want to watch, if I was to tell you somebody to watch to get into MMA, Vitor Belfort early fights as well is crazy. Like, before Vitor, it was the knockouts. That's who Derek Lewis just passed for knockouts and stuff like that. His fights you put on his playlist, he knocking motherfuckers out. Like he getting them out of there. Like the man finishes like almost every fight that he was at during that time period, doing the Vitor.
I can't give it to him though, bro.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like if I tell somebody, hey, bro, go watch this fight, and I don't tell him, he was, bro, watching his fights, it's crazy. Like his fights are just like his hand speed, his placement of his kicks, like.
Didn't he just win a boxing match against somebody?
Yeah, he just beat some old Chavez. What was it?
Oh no! Actually, I don't even want to talk about that. He beat Evander Holyfield. Matter of fact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one. Never mind.
But like to watch him, like to literally watch him fight, like me being, a budding martial artist. I'm gonna just say my budding. I know I did, in the past, but like just you see my guy just back to practicing and stuff like that. Watching him fight his foot placement, like on his kicks and his punches and stuff like that, his hand speed, like it's something to marvel at. Like I know he's juiced up, but at the same time, like just thinking of it from just a standpoint of just striking and just the technique. Vitor he's one of the absolute best. He's one of those guys that the Lyoto Machidas and the just a martial artist that I enjoy watching fight. Like I can watch Vitor fights and not feel like I'm bored or anything. Like I can watch him back to back to back and be like, oh, it's a lot that I can learn from here. Or some people are just gifted. Some people are gifted, and some people need additive on top of those gifts.
Understood. Yeah,
but
might have to watch some Vitor, and I just got to get past the juicing and the front kick.
You watch him versus Rich Franklin. Then that's when he knocked out Rich Franklin. Got knocked out by Silva. Then you watch him against Yoshiro Akiyama. Yoshiro Akiyama knocked him out. Finished Anthony Johnson. That was at Aldo Mendez too. Oh man, I forgot about that. Then he got finished by John Jones. Then Michael Luke. Then knocked all of them out with kicks. Then he lost against Chris Weidman. Knocked Dan Henderson out again, and then the onslaught came. Wait a minute. He finished Kevin Gastelum?
Yeah, Kevin Gastelum has been around for a minute. He fought everybody.
I don't remember that. It got overturned because of probably THC or the juice. Dang, I gotta sneak that one in.
What? Like Kevin Gastelum fought him? Like
I can't remember. Like I don't remember it. Normally I can remember a fight. I just don't remember that fight.
Gastelum came in like 2010 though, like 2011. Yeah, so it makes sense.
No, they fought in 2017.
The F. Wow. Interesting to say the least. I definitely want to see this. Definitely want to see this one. And we didn't even get into Ngannou. Well,
that's crazy that we went. We didn't even talk about it. We did not even talk about it. So let's get into it. So I asked you. So have you been watching? Like the rumors? Have you been watching any interviews with Francis Ngannou talking about his coach, his former coach, and the camp, and how the media and they're trying to make it seem like they have been training for years and stuff like that. He did an interview with Megan O'Leary, just talking about talking about
it.
Have you had a chance to watch that?
I've seen some of it, where he was just like,
So basically, he was talking about him losing to Francis losing to Stipe, and how that it took him getting dominated like that to realize that the people that are around him wasn't necessary for him. He went into a depression, and that's why his performance against Derek Lewis was so just tragic. Like, so he wasn't him. He said he wasn't himself. He had to seek out a sports psychologist, a therapist. And once he started talking to his therapist, she was telling him, this common theme that was coming up was his coach. His coach didn't want what was best for him, and it was kind of like he told her, like, "Bitch, you great," kind of like he didn't believe it at first, and then talking and doing this stuff more often, talking with the counselor, he started to realize, he was like, "Oh, okay, you were right," and he chuckled about it. And it's just one of those things that when you see, a fighter that with such talent, like Ngannou. Like, dude is a physical freak. Like, you look at him, he's one of those guys that he got to be juicing. Like, you look at him and you look at his body, like, no homo. Like, oh, I can't even say that. Pause. You look at you just look at him as like you just be like, how in the world are you built like that? You know?
Yeah.
It just one is just one of those. Just like when you look at Yoel. Yoel is 40 something and he has a body better than like a 22-year-old. Like, why are you like, you know, and you just people just think, you know, drugs. It got to be some way. You got to be some way. You got PEDs or something. But some people just, you know, it's some freaks in this world.
It's different, yeah.
It's just different.
Those
you know,
genes.
And them genes. And Ngannou was one of those people. And you know, the speed, like that's one of the things that Ngannou, that when I watch him, a lot of people don't give him credit for is the talk about is, you know, Cyril is light on his feet, moves very well. Francis also moves very well. He's very quick. Like his punches, you know, they coming, but they get there so quick that.
Yeah, we technically still haven't really seen him throw a full-blown combo. Like,
yeah, like it's weird because when he touch you, you go down. But back to the interview. So he was talking about and then he referenced, he was like, the video they put out, and he chuckled again. He was like, if you watch, he was like, I will admit, you know, when you watch the video, they show a part that, you know, doesn't favor me very well. But if you release the whole video, it's parts of that, you know, I'm getting the best of him too. And adversely, like I watched the interview with Cyril Gahn as well, that Cyril Gahn was saying, like, you know, we did release a part that, you know, it favored me a little bit more than it favored him. And I can honestly say that, you know, I felt his power, and he hits hard. Like, so it's one of those things where we're showing what we want to show. And he said that it is a part of the video that he's getting better than me. And then he went on this. I'm going to turn it to you after I finish this. He was saying that when it got technical, I had the best of him. When we were just throwing reckless, he got the best of me. What do you think about that? How do you feel about this fight?
I just feel like when you got two soft-spoken and very like humble people fighting each other, is always weird as hell, because you got to sell the fight, because it's like you got these two physical.
Lewis. He don't like Ngannou.
Oh yeah.
Well, go ahead, bro.
But it's like, so you got to fight like this, two like physical freaks, you know, like they're literally two different things. Like you got Cyril Gahn, a 246-pound man, and he moves like a middleweight. Like, the heck? Then you got Francis Ngannou, who's like 260, and he moves like a 225er.
Yeah, like light heavyweight, bigger.
Yeah, like 235, 205. Like he just moves like a smaller dude too. But it sucks that you gotta, you know.
I feel like at 225. You're right, 225. I don't want to say 205, but he moves like a man that he's smaller than.
Yeah, so it's like the thing is, you gotta go with, like, I see where Dana and the UFC and all these guys are coming from. You got to sell the fight, because those guys are not going to sell the damn fight. I ain't even gonna lie to you. They're not going to sell the fight. The only thing they're going to sell is, hey, like, oh, I want to. Hey, they got nice personalities. Like, I'm looking at their thing, like the UFC vlog thing. You got Francis over here getting a massage. You got Cyril Gahn playing golf, like just knocking golf balls in the water and stuff, just playing around. I'm like, bro. And then when they do get into talking about each other, you can clearly see that it is the coach, low key, is the coach. Because Cyril Gahn, like when they ask him questions, he's trying to stay very neutral. He'd be like, I don't have a problem with him. Like, that's not me. Like, we trained together, you know, we had our time. Like, and then he also released something interesting, because it's funny how you brought up that Francis in the interview was saying that like he was depressed and stuff like that. Cyril Gahn was saying, like, when the time at the gym, he was like, Francis ain't really have friends like that. He ain't really talk to nobody like that. So I'm like, it all kind of goes into play. You feel me? Like, it's the same common denominator. Something happened with him and the coach.
I believe so too.
So, but to answer your question, it's like, or just how you feel about it, it's just like, it's an amazing fight that you don't really have to sell, but shoot, how much more money you could sell if you get these two behemoths going at each other.
I just feel like at the end of the day, it's a lot of stuff that we don't know about that does happen in camps and stuff like that. And Francis leaving his coach, and he was made to look like the bad guy. So
Yeah.
TJ, like just like when TJ left, they call him a snake and stuff like that. But at the same time, like this is a one-man sport.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a team built around that one man. If you have the wrong team around you, when you get in an octagon, they can't help you.
You know, Kobe said it the best, right? Like, I'm glad he released what he did in the last vlog that they did for him and Kamaru thing. And he was like, you know, like when people ask him why did he leave, what was it, AKA?
Yeah.
Why did he leave them? And he always says because it was not centered around him. Like it just had too many fighters. Like, and I think about that sometimes too. I'm like, well, that's a good point because if you have this fighter who's also a top fighter. So when I think about the Francis and Ngannou's, I mean the Francis and Cyril Gane situation, that's a simple one. It comes down to the coach possibly favored Cyril Gane a little bit more than Francis. When Francis realized that this team is not for him, like of course the coach, he's feeling himself. Look at the people I have on my team. Look at the type of team I'm building. But when you're building a team like that, you got to be like, you feel me? You got to be attentive to both people. So that's, I mean, look, it happens all the time. Kamaru, you remember? He left who was he? He was training with AK2 or something.
He was the AK2.
He left. He was like, I need to be around like, you know, more my people, like Trevor Whitman, like and then it's like Kobe, like I gotta go to these people. So it's like when they go to these different teams, they revolve it around them. And it's like you can't, I'm sorry, but like Ngannou and Cyril Gane, two heavyweights. And they're that, and you know they're gonna probably meet. That's stupid.
And that's just like with TJ and Cody. TJ and Cody in the same camp. They're the top bantamweights. You can see the rise that Cody was having at the time that TJ was the champion. It's hard to just believe that it's going to be okay. That I'm going to want to fight for that title eventually, and knowing all my flaws and stuff like that, it just can't be.
Look what happened to Gaslam. You heard what Gaslam's doing? He's going down to Henry Cejudo, and I was like, that's the best thing possibly for him because I'm like, if you look at where he's at right now, I forgot which camp that is, but you have Kelvin Gaslam that was there, you have Marvin Vettori, you have Giga, like you have all these different people. Like, how do I have time to to have my personal time with the coach? Is how I look at that. So, yeah. It just has to happen sometimes. You can't just have these two people on the same team, and it don't make sense. It's not good for business. I mean, if you have if they could have been like Kelvin, please go down to 170. It works. But when you can't do that, or simply it just comes down to maybe I need work by myself so I could be more like people could focus on me, and I'll be better. Yeah, so that's how that works. But as far as predictions, who's going to win? You could go first.
So we got two predictions we got to make, and then we'll close this one down for the day. So
okay,
one of the things that I feel like that is not being talked about is Cyril has it's both ways. They have never faced a person like this in real combat. Like the closest Cyril has fought is it got to be Derek Lewis, and he pieced them apart. But we know that even though Derek Lewis beat Francis, that's not the Francis.
Yeah, Francis is a more cerebral striker. Yeah,
that's not the same Francis that we seen do what we did to Stipe. So I'm gonna ride with Francis. I believe he gets the second round knockout, if not the first. Like I honestly believe Cyril Gane is going to be put to sleep. That's just one of those. I think it's a bit too early for Cyril. I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see him against Stipe first. That would have been a good measuring stick for Cyril Gane. But it is what it's kind of one. It is what it is. It's like
he deserves it. The rise.
So I'm gonna take Francis Ngannou second round knockout.
Okay, I'm gonna go Cyril Gane. Let's go with unanimous decision.
And I want to say one more thing. Having watched Francis go against Stipe, who's a very good boxer, who you think got more power? Cyril or one of the things with power is too, Cyril Gane is very accurate. And accuracy sometimes accuracy is one of those things that puts
you forgetting that this is a 245-pound man. Like,
but that's one of the things that worries me. Stipe came in there a bit small, 245, I think it was 242.
No, he was 225, bro.
No.
He was like 225, 230.
No. He was 242, bro. I could have sworn he was 240.
Oh, no. I think you are right. 242. Yeah. The first fight, he was smaller than that, I believe.
So, no, that first fight, he was bigger than that. Like, let me see.
Yeah, we got to look this up because I remember the.
Hold on. Because it was one of those.
We were so sorry to hear about Kathleen. We didn't know her personally, but she was a true professional.
Word to Connor, that first fight, he looked bigger. Hey, what's up, Drill? What's good, bro? My little brother in the chat.
So it looks like, so in UFC 260, I believe that was the first one. Stipe was 234.
Ooh, 230. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I see it, 234.
Yeah, I think the next one he came in at 242 though.
Yeah, I see the. No. The first one he was the second one he was 234.
The second one that was okay.
Yeah, that's the.
Just me, my mother, and my brother. It's a family business. Everything is within the law. And we have the highest standards when it comes to protecting.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I can't play it because I don't want to get no copyright or anything like that. But it says the tail of the tape. It was he came in 234.
234, yeah.
Hey, Jarrell, if you ever want to get in, if you got I can send you the link and you can join in and we can talk to you can talk to us about it as well. Like I have a link that all you need is you don't even need a video. You just I can always tag you in, link you into it. Kenny said he wanted to be on the show too. When we just talking about different stuff, like if we just talking about like life stuff and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, Karen don't even watch sports.
Yeah, but he said he wanted to be on the show too. When we just talking about like music and just like life things. He said,
I guess like urban stuff
stuff like conspiracies and different stuff.
Manhood.
Yeah, he said, if you talking about CMOS, make sure he want to be on that cast. Oh no, I ain't talking about right now. We about to get off J Rock. But
I swear that's so funny. Like I said, like my phone is so garbage. It don't even show me the comments. Yeah. So wait, we was gonna finish off on two things.
So yeah. So you have that one. You have that going on. You have Francis Ngannou versus what you call it. And I honestly believe Francis get the knockout. I think if Francis just like his hits are different. And that's the crazy. The one thing that makes me not want to bet on Cyril, the same reason why I wouldn't have bet on Corey Anderson versus Jimmy Manuwa. If you get in your mind that if he touched you, you die, you're gonna lose. And I hopefully Cyril Gane.
Cyril ain't thinking that. I think he.
I'm just saying. If
he got knocked out by Francis before.
Who?
Cyril.
Did he say that? He never said.
So you didn't see the YouTube thing? Like on YouTube, it's titled Francis Ngannou said he knocked out Cyril Gane with a head kick.
That's crazy. I have not. I'm looking that up when we get off. I'm definitely looking that up.
Literally, I just seen that. Like, hold on, I'm about to try to go back to it again. Like, bro, it's literally because I was like, damn, I want to watch that. Ah, shoot, it's not. Oh. I knocked Cyril Gahn out in sparring with a high kick.
And so that kick that he threw against Stipe was a sneaky kick that he threw. When he threw that kick, AJ, bro, like, it's one of those things, bro. It's one of those things. They did spar, bro. And you know,
but I mean, it's like, in my opinion, like Cyril, because he's a 245-pound man, bro, and he moves so, like, he's very agile. You're gonna be able to pepper him and make him stay back a little bit. I mean, Francis is gonna he's going to have to take some blows to get where he wants to get on him. It's not gonna be like a Jairzinho Rosenstrike where it was like he just was on, like, just backing him up. Like, their striking is too different. Like, he's actually gonna boom, back up, be on the side of him. Like, if you ever look at Cyril Gahn's footwork, it's very, very weird. Very, very weird. So I just think that's going to be a puzzle for Francis. Now, if he throws them, like, if he pulls out leg kicks, I swear to you, my opinion was changed mid-fight.
So he did throw leg kicks against Stipe too.
That's the thing. Of them. He throws any on Cyril because that's going to knock Cyril off. Like, I get Cyril going to be like, whoa. But at the same time, it's just like, what octagon are they fighting in? That's a very important question.
So you got Cyril. So you have Cyril.
They at the Apex?
No, they're in Las Vegas. What that would be the Apex then?
Yeah, I believe so. The Apex is small, right? That's a small cage, small octagon.
Are they at the Apex? Where are they fighting?
It really depends on the type of cage they fighting in too. For me. Definitely, it depends on the cage, because if it's a small cage, it gets ugly for Cyril Gahn at that point.
Oh no, it's in a bigger cage. They're
it's a bigger cage.
Anaheim United Center.
So they're making it fair because, like, if Francis crowds anybody, the fight is over. I don't care who you are. Like, he crowds anybody, the fight is over.
Hey, yo, Jay, do you hear both of us clearly? But so the fight that we have not said anything about, and that's kind of going over under the radar because of Cyril Gahn versus Francis Ngannou. Oh yeah, he said he can hear both of us.
Okay, I was like, damn, got to pull out the snowball. But yeah.
Hey, so this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I'm just saying, if Francis connect with this guy, it's going to be lights out, bro. Like, I just don't think he takes the power. I honestly don't think he takes the power. But the fight that we have not said anything about, and that I personally can't wait for, is the co-main event. Davidson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno, the guy that I told you that was coming. I told you he would be. That's my guy.
Cool.
That's my guy.
Cool, right?
And that's one of those things that hurt, that I've been called, like, when I see him, like, if we was doing the podcast, I'm like, bro, that's gonna be the next, champion. That's gonna be next. That's one of those things that, like, with Xavier Howard, that's one of those things that is near and dear to me, that where you can see those things actually coming. But I'm going Brandon Figueiredo. I'm going Brandon Moreno submission. He's going to submit him again. I don't know what round it is, but I got him submitting him again. He's going to get.
I'm going with Figueiredo. I'm going with Brazil.
Brazil,
man. We taking it back home. That's what my boy said in the vlog. He said he going back home with his. So I believe it.
How do you feel about him having Triple C in his corner? How do you feel about that?
Brandon Moreno with Triple C in the corner?
No. Davidson Figueiredo has a triple C. That's what I'm saying. How do you feel like a Mexican? No, this is not any derogatory type thing.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because you know they got like a little beef going on. I heard something like they had like a little bit of, I wouldn't say smoke, but like a disagreement. So Henry he's being petty.
So basically, they call
not petty.
I get what you're saying, but they call Brandon Moreno the first Mexican-born champion, and here he is Mexican, but I'm not sure if he was not born in Mexico.
Right, from Arizona, and
that's one of those things that kind of tilted. Like it's like, bro, he's the first born made from Mexico.
Just like Jack Boy versus Kodak little situation.
It's one of those things that is like, I maybe that played it into a part of it a little bit, but yeah. So he said, Figueiredo said that he has Henry Cejudo in the corner for the traitor Brandon Moreno. I'm not sure if that's because Brandon Moreno didn't want to give him that immediate title shot, but I didn't feel like it was no need for an immediate title shot. Like he literally just destroyed that guy. Like it was never in the fight that I felt like Figueiredo had any chance of winning that. He finished him properly.
I actually like that idea now that I think about it, because he's messing with his mind, and I like the mind game before the fight.
Baby assassin doesn't get. I don't think the baby assassin gets rattled like that.
I like the mind trick though, bro. That's boss, man. That's boss. That's like, hey, I'm pretty sure he's paying him good bread. So.
And this is one of the things I said, and we talked about this a little bit. Henry Cejudo being as a coach, that's crazy. Like his mindset, if he can, I'm not saying he can be one of those Matt Humes, like how he had Demetrius or
I think he can.
Trevor Whitman, but he's like, I'm not saying right now. I'm not saying that he's one of those guys like at this second, but his mindset, if he can get a blank canvas. His knowledge of wrestling, how he was able to implement the Christ type style of striking when he went against I can see his face, but I can't say his name. That Brazil guy, I can't think of his
Morales.
name. No.
Mariah, sorry.
Mariah. No, not him, but I can't think of it right now. But like how he came and switched his whole game up, like that's crazy. Like people don't come out with a whole different fighting style, out of nowhere.
Yeah, I agree with that one. But Henry, yeah, I do man, because I remember I was watching a video of Daniel Cormier like doing some coaching with Habib, and it just sounded so amazing. Like I'm like, yeah, these guys sound like they will coach you behind.
And I think he has that level of he can coach the shit out of somebody. And
I think
people that go to him, I really believe that they will flourish.
Because you got to think with wrestlers, it's not a certain cockiness to them. So like if you're a raw basketball player or a raw football player, it's like you almost expect everybody else to just know how to do that. Like wrestlers, on the other hand, they understand like, yeah, I can be like physically gifted, but I still have to know certain techniques to beat you. So it's a bit more humbleness to it, I feel like. And I mean, I never wrestled, but from the wrestlers that you meet, usually it just seems like they'll be more or less like, I know something, so I can give you the game if I'm your coach, so I can. And it's never going to be like, man, you need to know this because blah, blah, blah. It's just like, listen to this move. This move is good. Let's train it. Yeah. But I definitely got to go with Figueiredo. I got to go with him. I think
hold on, let me do something for my brother right quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the big cheese. That's something. So when I was still was I back? I think I was in Daytona. Henry, it was when he was going against Mighty Mouse the first time on the when he was going against Mighty Mouse the first time. What's the thing called? What's the UFC blogs? He was driving in a van and he was like, "Oh, he's a mouse." Well, I'm the big cheese. That's what he kept on saying. I'm the big cheese, and I used to always do that around him. It would make him laugh.
Oh crap! Joel Embiid goes off for 50.
I seen that. Joel Embiid. We got a little bit more time. Joel. So who you got? So you saying finish? I need to hear you say. Are you saying he's going to get the finish too? Are you saying Brandon Moreno finish?
Like with that type of fight, somebody going to sleep. It's no going into the 5th round. I don't believe.
No, you said Davidson. You going with Brazil?
Yeah. It's no way that it's going. Like even if he doesn't knock him out, like Moreno, I'm still gonna take him. But if he doesn't knock him out, Moreno's gonna get him out of there. Like somebody's going to lose, like in an emphatic fashion. That's all I know.
Okay. Let me keep it 100 with you. So who's the better athlete? Davidson. Like who got the better traits and everything like that? Gene. I would say, if you look at him just body wise, you're gonna say Figueiredo, Davidson. But like if Davidson doesn't cut down right, and he's like, because that's one of the things that cutting weight, just like we were just talking about with Bobby Knuckles, he might need to be at 135 if he doesn't cut right because he got hurt. He had got Figgy coming with a vengeance. He got hurt. He got hurt like that little. I think it was just like a jab. He just jabbed him and he dropped him.
Yeah, and if he's not getting you out by the second, it's just like he almost gets exhausted. The thing is that Brandon Moreno got that you just got to respect. Ultimately, at the end of the day, he got something that a lot of people don't got, and that's this. I don't know if it's the right side. I forgot, but it's the heart. He has the heart. He has heart. He has something else that you can't train for people. Like, I mean, you can't train lungs.
Yeah. You
do all the cardio.
You want, but if you do all the cardio you want, but if it's not in you, you break.
It takes that second gear, yeah. It takes that. Izzy said it the best way when he was like,
that's up there too. It's not just you can train all the cardio you want, but at the end of the day,
it's the mentality.
It's that mentality.
Because it's the mentality. John Jones, he did get hit by some bombs versus Reyes, and he just was kept on.
The perfect example is that Gustafson fight. The man said he was doing cocaine all week and didn't train.
His eye was big, his lip was big. Like
at the end of the day, he was like, "No, like that's just different." I'm gonna watch that fight too.
Because that was a battle,
bro.
That was a battle. The second one was sad though because he just decapitated him. Like he just literally put his head and just took an axe. He just did him wrong, bro. He did him dirty.
So, like, bro, like when that shows you the level, like a man that he went against a man that had been training to kill him for like 6 weeks, and he was able to stop him at the door. Like, no, Israel Adesanya versus Kevin Gastelum, 5th round, when he said, "I'm ready to die." Are you?
Yeah, you gotta kill me.
Like, you got to kill me. Like, literally, like that you can do all the cardio you want, but at the end of the day, it's like, do you have that mentality or are you going to go in there and quit? Like,
sometimes it takes those mind games. That's why I say Figueiredo, I like what he's doing. I like it. Get Triple C in the corner because they got a little contention going on, and then it's like you bring it in. It's like, bro, those mind games. Sometimes you gotta try to crack somebody in a way. You feel me? Whatever simple advantage you got.
Yeah, so but I like the first episode. It seemed like it was viewership wasn't amazing, but nothing in Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, definitely wasn't.
It's one of those things. I seen people stopping in. I seen we had a few people stopping in. That's always good. We got my little brother. Hopefully we can get you on the show talking some UFC because we want to have like people stopping by. We don't want to
Yeah.
me and him all day. So like different input, like always me. Like if we can get different input, it's always better. You know, it's always better. So
It takes more than one person, more than two people to build a community. So
yeah.
You know.
So do you any last thoughts before we get off? Wilson Reyes, that was the guy that Henry Soto switched it up to like a karate type, deal. Wilson Reyes. So
I'm just gonna finish off tonight with Volkanovski is the greatest. Alexander the Great, Volkanovski. Korean Zombie's dead. He's out of here. Max Holloway retired. What else? Brian Ortega retired. So you feel me? That's all I had to say.
King Vote. I honestly believe that Volkanovski will, like I said last time,
dominate.
Oh, okay. We'll stay on a little bit longer just for you. Talk about this guy, Prohaschek.
That's your guy. That's your guy that you put me on. Yeah, that's the guy you put me on.
Yo, Jay, I know about Yuri. He about to kill Glover next. Like
he hit Reyes with the Beyblade.
Man, he tricked him, had him thinking that he was about to, and he was like, go to sleep.
He just hit him with the Beyblade.
He walked past him, he was like, oh, I got him. Go to sleep.
That boy just
yeah, bro. I've been like, so Prohaska, yes sir. So one of the things that I was telling Dennis about when Yuri when he first arrived, I was like, bro, he's a killer. Like, so like I was like, watch out for this guy. Watch out for this guy, because he did not coming into the UFC for like 5 years because he wanted to improve his game. Like literally, the man
he's a zombie. Like I was just gonna. His style is so crazy. It's like, would you even want to take him down? It's just so, because the stance is like really wide, and then he's just throwing these crazy, like, oh my goodness, that's hey, if he gets that belt, it's probably not leaving that waste for some time.
That's one of the fighters, like with the how the division is shaking out right now with the 205. Mm-hmm. It's one of those perfect times where if John Jones doesn't come back, and even John Jones, that's a problem.
Hey, you remember how people were always saying like, what's gonna contest John Jones? And people used to put out Gustafsson because he was like the only person that was around his size. It's like nowadays you got damn near everybody 6'4" in that division. Like Yuri's 6 foot, like he's 6'4", right?
Yeah.
He's 6'4". He's long. Like it's just.
So when you look at we're going to talk about this and then we can go. So when you look at the UFC, matter of fact, let me share my screen right quick.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the rankings that's left, so when you look at the 205, Dominic Reyes, he put him on hiatus. He literally put Dominic Reyes said he's taking a break. He put this man on hiatus.
Yeah.
You got your boy Rakic, you got your boy Anthony Smith, you got Thiago Santos, you got Costa went up. Oh no, it's because they put him there because the last fight with Marvin Vettori was 205. That's probably why they put him. You got Volkan, you got Ankalaev. So Ankalaev is one to watch out for after he goes against Santos. After Yuri, Magomed Ankalaev is one of the people to watch out for.
He might retire him. I think he might retire Santos, actually. I think he might.
So that's one of those. When you look at the division, how the division's shaking out, if I love Glover and I love his story. I love how he came back and did what he did. But Yuri is just different. Like he's scary different. What he does to people is scary. Like
you see how he just walked down. What's our guy name? He should be Volkan Ozdemir. Like he was taking bombs.
And then he slept him. Put him
and just put him to sleep. He was taking bombs. Dominique Reyes, he was taking bombs. It's like
CB
this guy's
I'm not sure you've seen that fight against CB Dalloway. Slept him. Like his last 3 fights, people were asleep. He's melatonin. That's what he is, melatonin. Because he's putting bitches to sleep. Like
yeah, all of them look the same way. Like it's
when you look at him and Glover, the best way Glover would beat him is literally taking him down. And we haven't seen his ground game. That's one thing
and that's what I'm saying. It's like, do you even want to take him down? Because it's like you see how he just be like jumping, hopping, like yo. Because if you mess up, he could sleep you like real easily if you mess up on the takedown. Because you got to lead unless you're doing like some protected takedowns. If you try to take him down recklessly, that's an uppercut.
So they talk about. I was watching Uncle Dana again. Uncle Chell. He was saying that the 185 is like dead. You have Israel at the top. You have Adesanya, and you got Whitaker. Then you don't really have anybody else. Since John Jones left, that's how I feel about the 205. If any division is quiet, very quiet, yeah. When you throw Glover in there with his age, that's not a stable champion. Like Glover's like 42, 43, something.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to Jan. Like that, look how quick that just changed,
Yeah. So like literally you have Yuri 29. I think Yuri is 29.
28, I think. 28, 29. Yeah. Denisa.
29. I wonder what that means. But you have him at 29. Coming for Jan, not coming for Jan, coming for Glover. Like,
I believe he walks around at 230.
If he gets the title with the challengers under him, looking at their skills, he's that champion for a long time.
For a while, yeah, I definitely see that too.
So it's one of those things that if you look, he was fighting there, Risen or Ryzen, however you want to pronounce that. Hey, yo, J-Dog, are you watching One Piece? Oh, he got knocked out. I'm going to have to look up that fight. He got knocked out, John McCarthy, and then he had a draw.
That thing, it was a draw. I'm like, whoa.
TKO punches.
Battle of Moscow. That way lost to some guy in the Battle of Moscow.
Yeah, but bro, Yuri is different, bro. We trust and believe, Drell. This is. Oh, he ain't on that. He ain't on that One Piece like that yet. Me and Dennis, this is all we talk. We literally talk about UFC all day.
Oh, good. But, UFC football,
UFC and football and anime.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, my dog.
All righty, man. It was nice for the first show. We gonna talk tomorrow, definitely.
All right, bro.
All right, have a good night. Yep.